Uh, Welcome to another week of virtual learning. Um, I'm coming to you today from beautiful Houghton Lake, Michigan, where I grew up. I'll show you a little bit. This isn't Houghton Lake. That's the pond I grew up on. About a 2-acre pond, but if the trees weren't there, you could see Houghton Lake pretty easy from here. But we're not. It's at the road end. But you know, I hope you're finding opportunities to work from pretty places since we can't be at school, and um, I hope you're finding ways to enjoy this great weather but still be productive, right? We got to finish strong. You're going to be using these skills next year in algebra with Miss Edison. And I just let you know if anything's difficult, you're not alone. You can continue to ask me questions. We'll have office hours Wednesday at 3:30. Now the Wi-Fi up here is a little less reliable and quick, so we're going to try the Zoom like I have been doing, but be prepared if it doesn't work. I'm going to try, email will work for sure. I'll be available to email back and forth Wednesday at 3:30, like instantly. And maybe one-on-one Google Hangout, maybe. We'll have to cross that bridge when we get there to see what's going to work for us. But I'll be available for a solid hour for instant feedback there Wednesday 3:30. All that information will continue to be on Classroom where I'm housing everything. So hope you're all doing really well, and I miss our 55 minutes together every day in class, and especially, you guys being 8th graders, missing that fun stuff with you, like Whitecaps game and that little graduation ceremony deal, and just know I wish I could send you off in the traditional way, but we're kind of just living with all these adjustments right now. So more importantly, I hope you're all well. I hope you're all healthy. Hope you're all happy. And we're going to get into this lesson. So last time, what you did was you graphed a line if I gave you slope-intercept, and from the equation you pulled off the y-intercept and the slope to make that happen. We're going to do the inverse today, where I'm going to give you a line and you're going to write the equation. But big picture, it's not much different. You're going to be given the line and you're going to identify the slope and the y-intercept, and then you're going to write the equation. So it's just the reverse of what we did last time. So two pieces of information in y equals mx plus b, m the slope, and b the y-intercept. We're going to identify those two values, slap it into an equation, and that's what we're going to focus on today. So let's get after it. So here's our first line, and the first thing we need to do is identify 2 points. All right, the first point you're always going to want to identify is the y-intercept, right? Because we're going to need a y-intercept. And then you can use any other second point. I'm going to choose this one, but you could use any other point on the line. There's another one. So what I like to write over here to start is m equals and b equals. And remember, m stands for the y-intercept. Nope, it doesn't. M stands for the slope, and b stands for the y-intercept, okay? So the first thing I like to pull off is the y-intercept, just because it's pretty quick and easy. And that y-intercept's right there. It's that -3. So I'm going to put a -3 there for my b value. My y-intercept of this line is -3. And then I'm going to count the slope between any 2 points. So I'm going to choose to go this point to that point right there. Let's thin that out a little bit. Let's make that line smaller. Okay. So I'm going to go that point to that point. And so I'm going to go down to right 1. That tells me my slope is -2. You can write -2 over 1, but -2 over 1 is just -2. Note if you used, so just remember slope, dude. Nice, negative. And then puff, puff, positive up the hill. So down, left to right's a negative. That's why my slope has to be negative. So when I write my slope, when I write my equation, remember the equation is in this format, y equals mx plus b. And remember, x and y is any ordered pair on this whole line. So we're going to keep x and y in our equation because we need to have infinite answers. So y equals our slope of -2x, and then plus b is going to be -3. And the reason it's minus is because that 3 is negative. You could also write plus -3. Just know that's the same thing. So a way you can check this is by pulling a point off the line. So let's say we pull off that point. That point is -2, 1. If we slap -2 in for x, I get -2 times -2 is 4, and 4 minus 3 is 1. So when x is -2, y is 1, it works. Any point on the whole line will work in that equation. So big picture, we're going to pull off the y-intercept and the slope. So let's look at another one. I got 6 of them, I think, ready for us to roll. So on this one, number 2, I've got a y-intercept right here. And I'm going to pick any other point on the line. Let's go here. Okay, so I know I want to get it to be y equals mx plus b. I'm going to be looking for a slope and a y-intercept. The y-intercept is -1. It crosses my y-axis right there at -1. And from point to point, I'm going to go up 3, right 2. So up 3, right 2, positive. If slope dude's trying to go up that hill, right, it'd be tough. So I have my two pieces of information. My slope is 3/2, and then x, and then my y-intercept is a -1, so -1. So y equals 3/2 x minus 1. Remember, you can always rewind these, slow it down, watch it again, send it to your grandma, whatever you need to do to be successful, all right? I'm going to identify 2 points. I'm going to identify the y-intercept and any second point. I'm going to choose that one. I know I needed to get it in this form, which means I need a slope and a y-intercept. I like to start the y-intercept because it's kind of simple. Right there it is, 2. My y-intercept is 2. When x is 0, y is 2. And then my slope, I'm going to trace my path from one point to the next. I always go left to right, but you don't have to. Now, you might notice if slope dude was on this slope, he'd be going down. Nice. Negative. Down 1, 2, 3, 4. Right 4. So my slope is -1/4. Down 1, right 4. And so to get that in my equation, I have -1/4 x plus 2. Right here's my slope, right here's my y-intercept. We just substituted in for m and b. If you do this little organizational step, you know you're just substituting in for n, substituting in for b. It's a nice simple little step, not much more writing, and it really helps keep you organized. All right, number 4 here. We're going to identify 2 points. I got that point, the y-intercept, and I've got this point here, let's say. So I need this format, y equals mx plus b. I'm going to be looking for a slope and a y-intercept. My y-intercept is -1, 2, -3. And my slope, I'm going to trace it down 1, 2, 3, 4, down 5, right 3. Down 5, right 3. Remember, it's the ratio of the rise to the run. And so to get that in the equation, y equals -5/3 x minus 3. So here's my y-intercept. Here's my slope for m and b. A couple more. Let's identify we got a y-intercept in any second point. I'm just choosing that one. I know I need to get it into slope-intercept form, which means I need a slope and a y-intercept. My y-intercept is -2. I'm going to count my path. It's down, so down 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Down 2, right 5 is my slope, and my y-intercept's -2. So I have y equals slope, so -2/5 x. And my y-intercept, -2, so it's -2. You remember, you could do, this is the exact same thing. You know me, I just don't do plus negatives. But it's the same thing. You could have it like that, and it's the same thing. Last one, guys. Let's finish strong. I'm looking for that y-intercept. I got it right there. I'm looking for a second point. I got one right there. I know I need y equals mx plus b. So I'm looking for a slope and a y-intercept. My y-intercept is 2. And from point to point, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 up, 1 over. 4 over 1 is just 4. So I have a slope and y-intercept. So y equals 4x plus 2. Remember, this equation is going to work for any xy combination on that whole line forever. Infinite answers. That's why we're going to want the equation. You can't write all the answers because there's all the answers, all right? So keep working hard. Keep trying hard. There's videos about this all over online. If you need a second video, hit me in that email. Maybe I'll see you Wednesday, 3:30 on that Zoom, but just keep doing your best and know I got your back, all right?